Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of our Corporate Practice 1 class by the Dear Core Daniel School of Law. And on today's episode, we are talking about our first drafts. Our first draft for our topic 1, which is on Post-Incorporation Matters. This is our first draft class. And we are talking about board resolution for change of name. Now, while I was teaching you the procedure for change of name, I told you that there are 2 ways to which a company can change its name. I told you it can either go through the voluntary route or it will go through the compulsory route. But even if you are going through the compulsory route, you will still take the voluntary route. If you do not understand that, it means that you have not been watching my videos. You have not been watching my lectures. Do you understand that? So, when we are talking about this compulsory route, I taught you something known as the Big 4. But I said for order alteration, there will be the Big 3. Right? But it is the Big 4 for change of name because we have number 1. Board resolution authorizing or approving that the name of the company be changed. That is the first thing. Abi, authorizing or approving. Now, according to law school, you see that first thing when we were talking about our class. I think that's class 18 or class 19. Right? When we're talking about our class, board resolution authorizing the name to be changed. That is what we are drafting today. What is the second one? The second one after that is search for availability and reserve preferred name. Abi, the preferred name to be changed. The name of the company to be changed to. Right? That's number 2. Number 3, the secretary sends out notice for members to attend the next general meeting, which is what? 21 days. That notice must be 21 days notice. Section 241. Abi, what is the next one? That there shall be a special resolution. That was what section 30, subsection 3 of Cama say. There shall be a special resolution passed at that general meeting authorizing or approving that the name be changed, but subject to the consent of the CAC, because the special resolution in itself, right, cannot change the name of a company except the CAC approves. That is the reason when we are sending documents to the CAC, one of the documents that we must send is what? Application letter. To who? To the Registrar General of the CAC. Asking for what? Asking for its consent that the name of the company be changed. So, all these things I've said so far, I've had the lectures for all these things, right? And I want you to go and consume yourself in those lectures. Everything I said now came from my head. Not because I crammed any procedure, but I understand. Do you understand? It comes from an understanding, an area of understanding, not an area of cramming. If you cram it, that is when you get into exam hall and you say, as I entered, I just blanked out. You don't need to blank out. Understand it. Change of company, let it come from a deep-rooted part of knowledge. What is the procedure? What are the ways? When we talk about compulsory change, it should come from your head that when we say compulsory change, the CAC is mandating that a company who registered later in time and whose name seems to coincide, probably out of inadvertence, that means out of mistake or an oversight, his name seems to coincide with another company's name that is still in existence. That you don't need to cram that. You only need to understand it. Why is that difficult? And then as a result of that, that first company will write a letter to the other company right? The company who seems to have registered first and is aggrieved will write a letter to the other company, a courtesy letter saying, please change your name. If that doesn't work, then he writes a protest letter to the CAC, attach some documents, which is the certificate of incorporation showing that it came first in time, and then there are some other things that are supposed to be stated in that letter. I have taught it in a class already. And then the CAC will then investigate, and within 6 weeks mandate the other party to change its name voluntarily. Right? Within 6 weeks of receiving the notice from the CAC, mandate the other party to change its name voluntarily. I mean, this is just something that once you know, you understand, you don't cram. Do you understand that? So the essence of going through all that is because I want you to see that in everything that we have said so far, there are 3 drafts that stand out, and there are those drafts that law school be required of us to draft for the sake of bar finals when it comes to the change of name. The first of the draft is what we are learning today, which is board resolution for change of name. That is the first draft. Board resolution for change of name. That is the first draft. So we are going to learn it. Like I've said earlier, this is our draft 1 T1, our first draft for Post-Incorporation Matters, and the total number of 1 draft so far. And we are still speaking on Post-Incorporation Matters, our topic 1. So please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the class. Let us go straight into our draft. Now, first thing is that every resolution, please take note of this. Every resolution and every letter sent by the company on all behalf of the company shall be on the company's letterhead. Please, ladies and gentlemen, take note of that. In the exam, they are very likely to give you the company's name, but it might be that they will not give you the company's address, the company's email, the company's phone number, the company's website. You are to fabricate that in the exam hall. That is standard. So it is not that they will give you, let's say, Yoyo Bitters Nigeria Limited in the exam hall, for example. They will give you Yoyo Bitters Nigeria Limited. You, in your own magnanimity, will not decide that you want to put the name of your own company. Ladies and gentlemen, you are going to fail. Right? Imagine when I was about to teach the beginning of registers, the different kinds of registers that we had. You know that I was trying to give an illustration that this question usually comes out in exam, right? And then there was a company that I used in that context. What's the name of that company? 2016 corporate law pass question. What's the name of the company? The name of the company was Clyde Information PLC. If you can remember, 2016, question 3, right? Question 3, where they asked, list the statutory books to be kept by Clyde Information Technology PLC, right? So if, for example, you are told to draft a board resolution for the change of name, please retain that name that they have told you to draft it for. Now, they might not give you an address. Some questions give addresses. Go to the question and go and look at it. Is there address? That's number 1. Some questions, no question is going to give you email address. No question is going to give you telephone number. No question is going to give you websites, right? Maybe some question can give you RC, but I doubt. RC number is known as the registration number of the company. Do you understand? So, however, when they tell you to draft a resolution, ladies and gentlemen, when they tell you to draft a letter, it must be on the company's letterhead. It must be on what? The company's letterhead. That is why you can see here, Yoyo Bitters, followed by the address of the company, the physical address of the company, followed by the email address of the company, followed by the telephone number of the company, followed by the website of the company. And it should be at the center. It should be at the center of your draft. Don't come and do design and this thing. Go and put it on one side. Put RC number. Follow this method. Center of your draft. right? Then the RC number is on the right hand side, on the same line with the name of the company, Yoyo Bitters Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, please follow that procedure. Now, don't take my words for it, hook, line, sinker. Put my words on one hand. Then, the draft that I've given to you, try to have a copy, a prototype of it, and go to meet your teachers. It is possible that during your sets, some of the things might have been tweaked. Do not forget that in as much as this class is supposed to help you, it is only to serve as a supplement to what you are being taught at the Nigerian Law School. It's supposed to help you to just have a better understanding. So, of course, anytime this class clashes with anything you are being taught at the Nigerian Law School, the Nigerian Law School class shall always prevail. And in fact, to test the veracity of what I'm saying, I usually encourage that students, after watching my videos and having my draft or my lectures where I teach procedures, go to the Nigerian Law School, go to meet your lecturers and ask, "Ma, I drafted board resolution. This is just a draft. Ma, please correct me." It is possible that there might be some subtle corrections that would be of extreme help to you. But imagine going to meet your lecturers for the first time and you do not have anything. Do you understand my point? You didn't know anything. You just went to go and meet your lecturers. Do you get? So this is supposed to help you, supposed to give you that foundation. And again, still supposed to help you in exam hall. Remember some key details. So now, let us go to our draft again. After we are done with the heading, it's called the heading of your draft, which, like I said, look at the way the heading is. Please follow the prototype of this heading, except otherwise it's stated by your lecturer, which I doubt, but please follow the prototype. Now, when you are done with this heading, the next thing that some mistakes that people make is that they want to put dates. Dates in a resolution does not come after the heading. It comes under. Under. It is only a letter that has date on top. Date in a resolution comes under. After the letterhead, the next thing you are supposed to see is our ref, your ref. Our ref, your ref is still a part and parcel of the letterhead. Basically, what does this mean? Our ref, most times a reference number should be attached to your letters so that you can always say, okay, in reference to this, our number, and reference to this, your number. When the letters are being kept in the file room, there is usually a reference number that ought to be attached to to each letter, because it's in a file. So that file is kept in number 1034 of the file room. So when you are addressing a company, especially after the first correspondences have been exchanged, where they would have imputed the number of the file in the file room, then it might make sense to follow suit in subsequent correspondences that, okay, this is number so and so, and stuff like that. However, in law school, it is not necessary for you to start writing number. What is necessary for you? Our ref dash, your ref dash. Simple. Our ref dash, your ref dash. No too long story. Do you understand that? Okay. After that, are we supposed to write date? No. What do we write next? Resolution of the board for change of name, pursuant to Section 30, subsection 3 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. Now, I want you to take note of certain key details here. The first one is that board resolution does not have special resolution or ordinary resolution. Board resolution is board resolution. That's number one. Resolution of the board for change of name. Some people will stop at resolution of the board for the change of name and stop there. Some law school lecturers agree to this. Some will say no. If you want to get full mark, put resolution of the board for change of name pursuant to Section 30, subsection 3 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act. So again, which goes to you have to go and confirm. What would your campus want? What do we have 6 campuses. The problem is that each one will tell you. I can remember then when I was still in law school, my own campus is Port Harcourt campus. Port Harcourt campus, our lecturer will say A. By the time I'm gisting with my classmates that went to Yola campus, Alpha, say wetin dey talk for change of name. They will tell them B. If you tell your guy at Abuja campus, say wetin dey talk, they will say C. So one of the guiding principles that I've learned is that don't ask different campuses, because see, they will use confusion to finish you. Instead, calm down, go and ask your lecturer. So you see what I've told you now. Please, is it board resolution for change of name? Should I just stop there? Or do you want me to go further in exam to write board resolution for change of name pursuant to section 30 subsection 3? Of course, the both of them cannot be wrong. They are both right. But what we are looking for excellence. So we are looking for which one is more correct. Which one will give us our full mark. If you write resolution of the board for change of name, did they want to say, oh, that was wrong? I don't understand. Is it not a resolution of board? They might just, if the total mark is 1 mark, they might just give you half because you did not write pursuant to. Now, some people will say, for resolution, so they don't write pursuant to. It's only for special resolution, that's the general meeting that you write pursuant to. So because you wrote pursuant to, you are not wrong, so we will not give you that 1, we will give you half. So may you not go do too much, come collect half mark. And may you not go do small, come collect half mark when you sabi the too much. That is why I'm advising. Ask your lecturer, what do they expect? But these are the 2 ways that it can be drafted. Now, let's go to the body of the draft now. It says that at the board of directors meetings of Yoyo Bitters Nigeria Limited on the 11th day of May 2021, at the board conference room of the company, the following resolution was proposed and passed. That's because they are, of course, just one resolution. If there were 2, you say the following resolutions were. Now, how do you remember this long thing? That I just finished saying. Just in my head, in exam, this is how I put it. At, off, on, at. Do you understand? At, off, on, at. Because the only way I could, this sentence might be very confusing. You might not understand it now. You say, Adieko, what is confusing in this? Wait, just chill, chairman, relax. Enter exam or finish. You see this simple sentence, the way it will evaporate from your head, you'll be wondering if your village people are sitting down and writing an exam with you. So, and I know this because there was a time we did pre-bar, right? That mock exam that I write before. There, the thing just evaporated. Ordinary board resolution where I don't draft tire. How don't I remember this? So I now say, at the board of directors meeting of the so and so on that is held on so day at the conference room, the board conference room. Do you understand? Now there are certain key things that I want you to note. First of all, try to train yourself, right? When you talk about the resolution, don't say board resolution, say resolution of the board. Try to train yourself, because that can just want to come to your head. The heading, you go and put board resolution for change of name. No, resolution of the board for change of name. Some people might even go as far as writing resolution of the board of directors for change of name. Now, again, these things are distinctions without a difference, but you have to know what would your campus want, right? Resolution of the board for change of name is still the same thing as board resolution for change of name. It's still the same thing as resolution of the board of directors for change of name. What's the difference? You are communicating and passing the same message. However, because law school would want a standard draft, and again, if there is a general standard draft now, it will help us. It is now by campus by campus. Lagos, which is the most hardworking campus that they like carrying law school on their head, they have their own. Port Harcourt will have their own, this one will have their own. So we have to be very careful and make sure that you confirm per your campus. That's one. Number two, at the board of directors meeting, when you are writing a board resolution, that is how you are supposed to start. At the board of directors meeting, that's why I call it at first. At the board of directors meeting of then the company of Yoyo Bitters Nigeria Limited. At the board of directors meeting of Yoyo Bitters Nigeria Limited, held on the 1st of May, so and so, or the 1st of May, the first day of May, so and so, at. So you have two acts. The first act is introducing the kind of meeting. The second act is introducing the location of the meeting. You might see that, dear, I don't need this. Don't worry, when you enter exam mode, you see what I'm saying. And you know that it has to follow this sequence. You cannot say on the 11th day, blah, 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 the board of directors sat at the, what's that? Who are you? Whose exam is that? So it has to follow that sequence. Even though the information you are passing at the same thing, the date is there, where it was held is there, the kind of meeting it was is there, and what were the... I understand. It is the same information you are passing, but it has to follow that sequence. If you mumbo jumbo it, my dear, you may not, pass that exam. So it must follow at what kind of meeting, of the name of the company, held on what day, held at so and so place. Do you understand? Please, at, off, on, at, off, on, at. Follow that sequence. Do you understand that? And then you then have, what is it that the resolution that has been passed? It says that subject to the consent of the Corporate Affairs Commission, the name of the company, Yoyo Bitters Nigeria Limited, be changed to Yoyo Sweeteners Nigeria Limited. Nami, write Yoyo Bitters and Yoyo Sweeteners. No vex. Okay, so when we are talking about this name now, this resolution, we say the following resolution was proposed and duly passed, right? Please add that. After your at, off, on, at. The next thing is the following resolution were proposed and duly passed. Of course, if it's a singular resolution, was proposed. If it's a plural resolution, were proposed. Now, we now talk about the resolution that was proposed in itself. And this is your major mark. Every other thing that comes before here is probably one, half. This one is where you have the chunk of your mark. Now, you cannot say that when you are quoting this, you can't say that the name of the company be changed from Yoyo Bitters to Yoyo Sweeteners or something like that. You have to put that subject to the consent of the Corporate Affairs Commission. Subject to the consent. It is important. You can go and ask your lecturers and you would see section 30 subsection 3. Why is it important? Because even in Cama, it says subject to the consent of the commission. Do you understand that? So in your draft, you should also put that subject to the consent of the Corporate Affairs Commission. The name of the company, Yoyo Bitters Nigeria Limited, be changed. Some people would have said be changed and is hereby changed. There are instances where I used be changed and is hereby changed, right? But not in this one. Be changed from Yoyo Bitters Nigeria Limited to Yoyo Sweeteners Nigeria Limited. There are certain key details that are expected of you, right? Number one, subject to the consent of the CAC. Number two, the name of the company, Yoyo Bitters Nigeria Limited, be changed to Yoyo Sweeteners Nigeria Limited. The name of the company, you put the former company, be changed. You now put the company that they wanted. You can't just say, oh, they want to change them to Yoyo Sweeteners Nigeria Limited. Simple. That means you didn't put the previous company. No. The name be changed from to. Do you understand? The name of the company, Yoyo Bitters Nigeria Limited, be changed to Yoyo Sweeteners Nigeria Limited. Let us see from what to what. Do you understand? So please cram this thing. You know, I don't advocate for cramming. I advocate for understanding. Understand it. Understand it. And you can see where our date is. My dear, this is where your date ought to be when you are drafting a resolution. Where your date ought to be when you are drafting a resolution. It's not up, it is down. Where your date ought to be when you are drafting a resolution. It is not up, it is down. Remember this in exam. You can even sing it like song. Where your date ought to be when you are drafting a resolution. It is not up, it is down. Remember this song. Okay? And then lastly, we have directors. Right? We have directors to sign. Now, some campuses, like Lagos campus, will say that when your directors are to sign, right, you can have a director or a secretary. But my campus, I can remember my lecturer clearly saying that, no, there should be two directors. It's safer to have two directors than a director and a secretary. Some campuses and some drafts will say director and secretary, while others will say two directors. Do you understand? Me, I always prefer two directors to be on the safe side. That's number one. Number two, some people will also say add the names of the directors. That is, fabricate a name. So the way you see that dash, there will be a name there before director. After the dash, let's say Mrs. Moturayo Echo. Right? Then under it, director. Now, my campus did not teach me that. Do you understand that? My campus taught me slash and director. All the resolution I drafted in my exam, to which I got an A in corporate practice, I did not put name. And I drafted a lot of resolution. My exam was 2023. There were a lot of resolution in 2023, November. Right? I did not put any name. Some people will say put name. Some people will say don't put name. So this is what I put. Director. Do you understand that? So additionally, when you are drafting in exam, either a letter or a resolution, please make sure that you sign. It's one of the things that they always tell us at law school. Make sure that you sign. For some reasons, I don't know. Is it that in practice, we are going to have a resolution that is unsigned? I don't know why they try to imbibe that culture in us. But you will see that my draft showing on your screen is unsigned. Ladies and gentlemen, please do not try this mistake in exam. Make sure that you what? That you sign. Right? Director, signature. Director, signature. Now, to further authenticate what I've said, you can still ask your lecturer, do we need to sign every draft? Now, I am very sure you are going to be saying, okay, you are supposed to get everything that you need, that you don't need to keep asking your lecturers over and over again, right? The reason why you need to ask your lecturers for two reasons. Number one, to authenticate what I have said, to make sure that you are on the right path. And number two, in case there are changes, in case your campus differs, for you to follow. In fact, there is a third thing. It is somebody that knows that, okay, I need to check something, or I need to cross-check something, that will go and ask. If you do not know what to cross-check, maybe you just sit down on your seat, right? You need to be 2 steps ahead. You need to know, okay, these are the ways to do something. That's what makes you the best. You know that these are the ways to do it. However, this is what is preferred by this campus. Do you understand? So when I'm drafting a board resolution, I know that, okay, we are supposed to sign. However, my campus said don't sign. I know that when I'm drafting a board resolution, the date is supposed to be down. However, my campus said put the date up. I know that when I'm drafting a board resolution, it's supposed to be at the board of directors meeting of Yoyo Bitters Nigeria Limited, held on so day at the board conference room. The following resolution was proposed and duly passed. However, my campus said we should twist it the other way. Do you understand? I want you to know that there are options or possible options, but this is what your campus said is the best that you should follow. Do you get my point? So please, I don't want you to see it as, oh, I am unsure or something. I am very sure. This is the standard, right? This is the standard. So, but regardless of the fact that this is the standard, I still need you to make sure that you are up to date with respect to what your campus wants. So with that, I think that this is a very convenient place to end our class, as a way just to go back and see what we have done. We have talked about board resolution. We have said that we need to have the name of the company, the letterhead of the company, the RC number of the company. We are supposed to also have the address, the email, the telephone, and all that. We are supposed to have our ref on one side and your ref on the other side. We are supposed to have the subject. The subject there being the resolution of the board for change of name pursuant to section 30, subsection 3 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act. I taught you at, off, on, at the board of directors meeting of Yoyo Bitters Nigeria Limited, held on so day at the board conference room of the company. The following resolution was proposed and duly passed. Cram that thing like that. Following resolution was proposed and duly passed, right? Then what are the information that you are supposed to put in the resolution that was passed? You must put subject to the consent of the CAC, because that is what the Cama states. You must put the previous company, that the name of the company, that is the previous name, Yoyo Bitters Nigeria Limited, be changed to Yoyo Sweeteners Nigeria Limited, and then dated this dash day, that the date should be under and not up, and then director. Simple as ABC. I hope you have enjoyed this class. I will see you in the next class. Please have a very wonderful day.